Explain the radio frequency interference. That sounds interesting. Well, thank you very much. So RFI has been known to be a problem in breath testing since 1982. Behind me, what you see is the breathalyzer 900, I believe, that was manufactured by Smith & Wesson. Yes, that's Smith & Wesson. Back in the early 80s, they manufactured a lot of the breath testing equipment. So that's the breathalyzer model 900. And yeah, I really want to trust my fate to that machine, right? So in any breath testing device, even today's infrared testing devices, where we use infrared absorption to ascertain how much diminished volume there is so that we can ascertain how much alcohol might be in the breath sample, these all work on boosting the electronic signal that's received from the detector. If we don't amplify the signal, it's virtually unreadable, in other words. And so in the back data master from some years ago, I was working on that with Dave Radomski from National Patent Analytics Systems, and there were 6 or 7 voltage regulators, I believe that they were, near the back of the machine, and they could not figure out what was wrong with them, that they weren't producing reliable results. When we have something like a handheld police radio or a microwave, what I want you to think back is maybe some years ago you were driving your car and you went under those high power tension lines where there's a massive amount of electricity traveling through them, and the radio that you were listening to started to have that crackle, that sound. That is an example of RFI, radio frequency interference. Now, the same radio waves can introduce energy into the amplification process that the breath machines nowadays are reading. So this was hotly debated at the time. Even the National Institute for Technology was involved in this because there was a lot of concern. Hey, can we actually make breath testing work in light of the fact that radio waves might make it look like the person's drunk when they're not actually? And the big names from those days all got together and met and discussed, what do we do with radio frequency interference? How can we get around this? And one of the famous alcohol researchers, Borkenstein, wrote down something on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper and smacked it up on the door. And it said, "No radios in this room." That was how they fixed RFI. Now, the Intoxilizer, I can't remember which version it was, but Intoxilizer came out with a device that actually had an antenna on it. The back Data Master and later the Data Master DMT would have thick metal shielding